The MeteoMark weather update. Alright, some of the stuff my viewers here have sent in. Kate, Nate from the Pittsburgh, southwestern Pennsylvania area. It looks like there was tornado warnings that occurred yesterday, and here we are at 7:19 p.m. Here it is. National Weather Service Doppler radar indicated a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado. The storm's possible tornado was near Dunlow, moving southeast to 20 miles per hour. The unconfirmed tornado touchdown was reported earlier in the storm in East Taylor near Route 271. And as you can see on the map behind me here, we have a lot of reports yesterday of severe weather and wind damage across much of southwestern Pennsylvania, portions of Ohio, and extending back towards the lower Great Lakes region. You can see those red circles here. Those are the areas where the tornado touchdowns occurred. So that is what we're looking at for yesterday on August the 9th, I believe. August the 7th, I believe. Yes, August the 7th. And that's what we had yesterday across the southwestern Pennsylvania area. Lots of reports of severe weather and tornadoes. And that was an area that was highlighted in the severe weather potential. Heading on over towards, thank you Kate Nate for that, and heading towards Lucas D from Linden, Texas. Look at some of these beautiful photos here. We got some really strange clouds occurring here. The last stuff he sent in was, of course, some of the orangish, yellowish clouds. These are some very strange clouds, and I'll show you here some of them. And some interesting cumulonimbus clouds here. But I want to make note of this one right here. Take a look at this one. Very interesting cloud patterns. These clouds that form these striations like this are usually indicative of a severe weather outbreak within 12 to 24 hours. So very interesting clouds. Thank you, Lucas. And here's some pictures of his wooded areas. Very beautiful photos as usual. Very beautiful woodlands around Linden, Texas area. And makes you really appreciate rural America here. So very nice, beautiful shots. And he took a long time setting up for this shot. This is the moon shot. They're not always easy to get, and you have to have the settings perfectly, the lighting correct. And look at that. Turned out very nice, Lucas. And of course, the one here, the last one, a sunset, a Linden, Texas sunset. So thank you, Lucas. Very beautiful photos, and I encourage you all to send in photos or videos of strange weather, nice weather, weather happenings, nature, for that matter. So let's get right into the tropics. We have something interesting brewing here, as I said yesterday. Take a look at this. Right across the eastern and central Caribbean here, we have a system that looks like it's starting to try to develop. And it's up to a 10 to 15% chance here. And here is the MeteoMark official forecast for this system. It's going to continue to jog towards the west-northwest, eventually towards South Cuba, just moving just south of Jamaica. And by about days 4 and 5 next week, it will actually emerge towards the Yucatan Peninsula, and this thing could emerge out into the Gulf of Mexico. So I would encourage all my viewers to stay tuned for later statements on this system. It's not going to develop anytime soon in the Caribbean. However, conditions are much more favorable in the northwest Caribbean and heading into the Gulf of Mexico. So after this weekend, this storm could be looking at lower wind shear, warmer sea surface temperatures, and a lot less drier to contend with. So this system could be on our radar here. Other than that, nothing else in the tropics. Let's head right on to the 48-hour precipitation totals. And of course, the lion's share of the precipitation will be confined mostly across the midsection from the central areas of the plains here and extending up towards the Appalachians and parts of New England, the Poconos, Catskills, for that matter. But the greatest share will exist here, and this is where we could get upwards of 2 to 5 inches of rain with flash flooding possible. So heed those flash flood watches and warnings. Take a look at the forecast, the weather here. We're looking across the nation for TGIF. Look at this system not moving too much. We actually have 2 systems here, and we continue with a lot of flash flooding and severe weather problems across the midsection here and even portions of the Ohio Valley and the Appalachians here, parts of southwestern and central Pennsylvania. And look at these temperatures in the southern plains. We're looking well up into the 100s. And that warm air will continue to spread east across the southeastern states here from the Gulf Coast to the southern Appalachians, where we could see temperatures approach the mid to upper 90s as far east as Atlanta and the Carolinas for that matter. And heading on into the weekend, this system tries to push south across New York and Pennsylvania, but it gets stalled up just north of the Mason-Dixon line here, where we could see a wave of low pressure right up along this and keep the conditions favorable for rainfall across Pennsylvania, parts of southern upstate New York, heading on into southern New England, and extending down towards the Ohio Valley, and once again the Plain States here. For Sunday, we finally move that system further south as a ridge of high pressure builds in from Canada, and we get those much cooler, less humid temperatures for next week. That's going to do it for MeteoMark. Like me on Facebook at MeteoMark. Subscribe to me on YouTube at MeteoMark.com. Here's a 5-day forecast for my hometown viewers from Binghamton to Elmira, the northern tier counties of Pennsylvania, from Scranton, Binghamton, and Elmira. Take a look at this. This is our weather for TGIF here. We're looking thundery. Showers and thunderstorms likely. One more day of this. Well, actually, possibly 2 more days here, as you can see. We're looking at some interesting weather conditions here. Heading on up towards 80. We can't get rid of the 80s until about Sunday. Saturday, we still have that threat of AM showers with us. Maybe some PM clearing here. Finally, Sunday, Monday, and into, as we see here, I have a 5-day outlook now. Looking a lot better here for the start of the work week next week, and looking at temperatures falling towards 70 with overnight lows in the upper 40s to lower 50s. As you can see, I'm slowly implementing my graphical interface upgrades here at MeteoMark, and I will continue to implement more changes in the coming days. So, enjoy the new layout, and I will continue to modify the existing graphical interface. That's going to do it for MeteoMark.